Why will Brian Schottenheimer change everything for the Cowboys? That's what I'm going to talk about and more in this video. But listen, before I do, don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe to Boss Cowboy Sports if you haven't already, and follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And you can follow me, the OC100, on Twitter. Okay, so Brian Schottenheimer has taken over as the offensive coordinator. He will share play calling responsibilities, especially in the run game, with the Dallas Cowboys this upcoming season. And I'm going to tell you guys, this is extremely good news, and this will change everything. And I'm going to tell you why as we get into this content. But first, you need to know that, listen, Schottenheimer was the offensive coordinator last for the Seahawks between 2018 and 2019. After that, he was the QB coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars when they drafted Trevor, we call him Sunshine Lawrence. Now, he comes understanding that our whole offensive philosophy will change to a West Coast offense. So I'm going to get into a little bit of the X's and O's of that, and we'll share with you some graphs and pictures as we go, just so you can kind of follow along. But it's very interesting to note the history and what happened with Brian Schottenheimer with his tenure as the offensive coordinator with Pete Carroll when he was with the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks, the first year, and I'm going to give you more data so you know that this is not a coincidence. The very first year, the Seattle Seahawks in 2018, they were the leading rushing team in the entire NFL. That's right, the leading rushing team. And I'm going to tell you who led that team in rushing, and that is going to surprise you even more as we go. Now listen, in 2019, they were the sixth leading rushing team in the NFL. That's his second year as the offensive coordinator. And his last year in 2020, they rounded out the top 12, okay? But can you guys guess who was the starting running back who led the Seattle Seahawks in rushing in 2018? Can you guess? Okay, I'm going to guess for you. A lot of you guys are going to say it was Marshawn Lynch. It was beast mode. And that will be incorrect. It was not Marshawn Lynch. That's right. It was not Marshawn Lynch. Okay, I'm going to throw out a name, and I'm going to see if you guys know this name. If you know this name, don't lie. Put it in the chat and tell me that you actually knew this before I told you. A guy by the name of Chris Carson. Who? Yeah, that's right. Chris Carson. He led the Seattle Seahawks in rushing in 2018. Okay, I'll give you another guess. What about 2019? Who was the leading rusher for the Seattle Seahawks? I'll give you a guess. Would you say it's Marshawn Lynch? Well, that's what I thought. No, it was not Marshawn Lynch. It was a guy, the same guy, Chris Carson. He led them in rushing. All right, 2 consecutive years this man led them in rushing. The first year he had 1,100 some odd yards. The second year he had 1,200 and around 30 yards. He was a top 5 rusher in the NFL. Who in the world is Chris Carson? That's my point exactly. He was, quote unquote, what we would consider not a big name or a no-name type back, but he still led the Seattle Seahawks in rushing. That gives more context and understanding on why the Cowboys have moved the way they have moved in this offseason. It was not about a particular back that was elite. That's why they cut Ezekiel Elliott, in my opinion. They have an elite type back when he's healthy, Tony Pollard, the scat back, and they have some serviceable and solid backups. That was the same model that they utilized when Schottenheimer was the OC for the Seahawks. It wasn't really any star backs besides when they brought back Marshawn Lynch 2019 to 2020. They brought him back, but he was at the tail end of his career. He was not a guy that was the bell cow guy that he was earlier in his career. All right. to prove this point further, okay, who was the running back for the Seattle Seahawks? I'll give you $20 if you guess this right, because I could not guess it right. In 2020, who was the starting running back for the Seahawks? Nobody knows. Okay, it was a guy by the name of Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker rushed for over 1,000 yards for the Seattle Seahawks in 2020. Have we ever heard of Kenneth Walker III? I haven't. I don't know who the guy is until I did the research for this particular video. And what is the common theme here? That, hey, the first 2 years consistently, they were in the top 6 rushing, almost top 10. Okay, with guys that you don't per se know. All those guys rushed for over 1,000 yards. Now, that lets you know that it was great execution and it was great concepts. All right, it was great execution and great concepts. And why is this important? Because the commitment to running the football is going to exponentially change the face of this offense. It is going to create one-on-one matchups, underneath routes, over-the-top routes. How they ran that offense is similar to what I see in terms of the West Coast that they will do this year. That you will see drag routes, you will see play action passes, hard one-on-one routes up the hashes. You will see outside one-on-ones being targeted. Not a lot of thinking. This thing is going to be man on man. As Michael Irvin said, it will be man beating man. The system part is going to be the movement and the manipulation with certain formations out of this West Coast running offense. And this is also why, if you understand this, it explains even furthermore why the Cowboys did not even hustle and go and get a big old guard like the OC and Boss Cowboy wanted them to. And I'll put it up here so you guys can see this. If you look at some of these plays in terms of the base package plays, you're going to see what's called, you're going to see a G trap, all right? And you should see that to your right? You'll see that. And you'll see everybody blocking down, including the tight end, and the left guard pulling around and leading a trap, going opposite left to right. All right. You'll also see what you call basically a pin. It's a speed pitch with a pin, which basically you got the tackle blocking down, you got the left guard pulling around and basically kicking out the end or leading up for a quick pitch. Okay. Now you also see on this particular play sheet, you'll also see an inside trap, or what I like to call a BAM trap, where you have the center, you have the guard, the right guard and the center blocking back, and you have the left guard pulling and trapping the 3 technique, inside traps. This is how that they sprung a lot of big plays in Seattle. It was the manipulation of formations and also running speed pitches, traps with the guards in particular, all right, and running quick zone plays where you could pick left, right, center, or bounce, bang, right, or bend, all right? Bouncing it outside, bending it back, and bang, hitting it in between the center and the guard. So listen, these run concepts not only, all right, will help this entire unit, but I'm telling you, this thing is going to make a Pro Bowler out of a few of these offensive linemen, whoever can hold it down. And listen, I made a video on Matt, all right? And I know I've butchered his name, all right? And I know I've mispronounced his name, so you don't have to put it in the chat this time. Thank you. All right? Ferniak, all right? And I believe that's correct. If it's not, okay. All right, pray for me, all right? So here's the deal. He has the athleticism to pull he had the top RAS score coming out a couple years ago. I just displayed that in the last video. So maybe the Cowboys knew something strategically that we didn't know as a fan base in terms of the concepts and how they wanted to use that left guard position in particular. There's no doubt about Zach Martin. There's no doubt about what he can do. There's no doubt that he can pull, lead, do whatever you want to do. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But now you got these run concepts. I'm telling you guys, this changes everything. If you like this video, don't forget to comment below, like, share, and subscribe. Follow Boss Cowboy Sports. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can follow me, the OC100, on Twitter. And until next time, salute.